UFC post-fight bonuses could be on track for a permanent increase starting in 2026. Even though Dana White has previously pushed back hard against the idea of raising bonuses due to public pressure, the situation now appears to be shifting. This comes after reports that the UFC has secured a massive new broadcasting agreement with Paramount worth $7.7 billion. Dana recently suggested that a portion of that money could eventually make its way to the fighters, with permanent bonus increases now being discussed behind the scenes. Not long ago, Dana was visibly irritated after being pressured into doubling the usual $50,000 performance bonuses to $100,000 for UFC 304, following public comments from Bobby Green. The aftermath only strengthened his stance. That card produced just 5 finishes across 14 bouts, resulting in a lackluster and forgettable night of fights. Dana walked away frustrated, convinced that higher bonuses didn't increase urgency or improve performances. He even stated afterward that he would never again allow himself to be pressured into raising bonuses on the spot. However, the new Paramount deal has reopened that conversation. While Dana remains opposed to reactionary bonus hikes, the sheer scale of this new deal has created room for structured, long-term increases that actually align with the business.
You know, the low-hanging fruit that's easy to answer, bonuses are obviously going up. So, you know, that'll be big. And forget about the tide rising with all the other fighters. I mean, just the number that the bonuses bring to a fighter is, you know, that's millions of dollars.
With those numbers, you know, 6.1 million viewers and 8.8 peaking million viewers peaked. Like, are there fighters on the roster right now, excluding Conor McGregor, John Jones, that can bring that amount of eyeballs to CBS?
Well, like he and I were just talking about, it's you know, the Barrett entry isn't $80 anymore. It's $12.99. So yeah, I think that alone brings in more eyeballs.
Meanwhile, the build-up to the interim lightweight title fight at UFC 324 between Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje has been surprisingly respectful. Instead of heavy trash talk, Pimblett has consistently shown admiration for Justin, calling him a proven veteran and avoiding personal jabs. That respect hasn't stopped Paddy from being confident. He's made it clear that he plans to pressure Gaethje, believes his style will overwhelm him, and has even predicted a finish, possibly by knockout. It's a balance of respect for Justin's legacy and belief that this fight represents his own arrival at the elite level. Gaethje, on the other hand, has kept things even more businesslike. His recent interviews have focused almost entirely on preparation and training, barely mentioning Pimblett beyond acknowledging the matchup. He's also teased improvements in his wrestling, even suggesting he might score a takedown of his own. This interim title exists because undisputed lightweight champion Ilia Topuria is currently on an indefinite hiatus due to family matters. Once he returns, the expectation is that he'll unify the belt with the interim champion. However, if the absence drags on or the title is vacated, the interim belt could become undisputed. In that case, Arman Tsarukyan, widely seen as the division's top contender, would finally receive his long-awaited title shot against the winner. Daniel Cormier weighed in on the current lightweight landscape.
I think that Arman Tsarukyan is doing everything he needs to do to stay active. Listen, man, this guy might just be the best lightweight in the world. Since Islam's gone, he's really good, man. He's big, he's strong, he's physical. The champion, Ilia Topuria, is tremendous. I think Ilia and Arman are the 2 best guys in the world. I think they need a fight at some point because I think Paddy Pimblett is awesome. Justin Gaethje's awesome. Arman and Ilia seem to have something, and not only something in terms of skill, but between the two that we could build a great fight around, right? So yeah, I think Arman's fantastic though, man. He's good. He looked great against Dan Hooker too.
Elsewhere, the tension between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev has officially escalated into a full-blown feud. What began as light trash talk quickly turned personal. Ilia claimed Islam moved up to welterweight because he was afraid of facing him, then doubled down by saying he'd beat Makhachev and even handle him in a street fight. That immediately caught Islam's attention. Islam fired back, telling Ilia to focus on defending his lightweight belt before mentioning his name. Days later, Ilia escalated things further by claiming he would submit Islam and then step on Khabib's head. The feud became increasingly heated. In a recent interview, Islam said Ilia was talking too much and hinted that if they ever crossed paths, things might not stay verbal, suggesting it could turn physical. The latest escalation happened in Dubai, where Islam's teammate, UFC flyweight Tagir Ulanbekov, reportedly ran into Topuria. According to Tagir, he confronted Ilia about the street fight comments and the constant public shots at Islam.
Me and the team were in Dubai, so I was just walking with one of my teammates in the city at night. That's when I suddenly ran into him near the mall that's closest to where I stay. It's a big one, so there's always a lot of people there. He wasn't alone also, so I called him by his name and told him like, come here, let's speak for a moment. When he saw me, he started saying something to whoever he had with him, like warning them about me. And then he started yelling things out to me, so I tried to approach him, but security and a lot of people were there, so nothing could really happen. But I told him I would break his teeth if he sees me one-on-one. He was shouting something too. I don't know, but anyway, that's all that was.
Shifting to middleweight news, Josh Thomson recently broke down a high-stakes matchup set for UFC 326, where Reinier will face Caio Borralho in Las Vegas on March 7th. This is a pivotal fight for the division as the title picture continues to take shape. Khamzat Chimaev is preparing for a spring title defense against Nassourdine Imavov, while contenders like Sean Strickland and Fluffy Hernandez remain close behind. The winner of that matchup could very well earn the next title shot. There's also uncertainty surrounding whether Chimaev will still be champion by then. Just weeks ago, he hinted at moving divisions after a single title defense to pursue champ-champ status. He's mentioned both light heavyweight and a possible return to welterweight, claiming he can still make 170. That scenario becomes even more interesting if Kamaru Usman captures the welterweight belt in 2026, potentially setting up a massive champ versus champ rematch between Chimaev and Usman. Their first fight was an explosive 3-round war that left fans wanting 5 rounds.
To me, that's a great fight. Both guys coming off of a loss. Both guys were like very highly touted. They were talking about just chipping into that top 3, top 4, ranking system. I think RDR was ranked number 4, whatever, when he lost just recently to Brendan Allen. This to me is a great fight. I think Caio Borralho he's good on the feet. He's not so bad on the ground. He doesn't have to worry about, I think, the overwhelming wrestling ability of RDR, because we saw that RDR's wrestling is not fantastic, but his clinch work is definitely something to deal with. And it's in March. Both guys have enough time to take off. Both guys have enough time to prepare, get ready for their weight cuts. Both guys seem to be very big for the weight. And so I look at RDR and I think to myself, when I look back at his record, I actually looked at his record this morning, and I realized that he was fighting 4 times in just that 1 year. That's impressive for someone who has to cut weight that much. But there's no better way to perform, basically, and consistently get better unless you're inside that cage.
That's it from MMA Time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA updates.